I was very fit and healthy. I did lots of things like badminton and tennis, and I had a really kind of interesting work career, which involved lots of my time. And all of this really came crashing down towards the end of 1999. I was diagnosed with a rare condition called vasculitis, and the result of this was it affected my eyesight. Unfortunately, I lost the sight of my right eye. And it was after this then that I had to go on to 18 months of chemotherapy. Going on to chemotherapy made huge differences to my life, and also it led to me becoming depressed and also anxious about what's going to happen with my future. Where am I going to go with this situation? And it was from this that I had to make huge changes in both my lifestyle and my work, and my normal optimistic outlook was somewhat diminished as a result of all this. And I couldn't really see the light at the end of the tunnel. A little bit later on, a friend of mine, he mentioned to me that there was a course running by the local NHS, and it's a course about self-management. And I found that it was really it was very inspiring, and it was really helpful to me because I started to build my confidence back up again. I was inspired after attending the course to try and help others, and the reason for this was because I know from my own experience how people feel and how their lives get turned upside down as a result of having a long-term health condition. And this was called the HOPE program. And the basis of this program was to have a positive approach rather than focusing on all the negative issues. Macmillan, they run these courses generally throughout the UK for patients with cancer. Well, in late 2014, I had a diagnosis of acute kidney failure, and this led on to progress to a stage 5 situation where I had to start making decisions about where I'm going the way forward. And it was during a session of haemodialysis I happened to hear about home dialysis, and so I looked into this, and I thought, well, this would be really helpful for me because it would help me become more flexible because I can dialyse at home at times to suit me, and I don't have to go on to kind of getting involved in going to the hospital and waiting and so on. And once I did it that first time myself, and had success, I managed to keep it into the vein without damaging the vein. That was a tremendous boost to my confidence, and it made me feel really good. So now I'm quite actively involved in making the kind of right decisions, if you like, about my life and about where I go in the future. And of course, all of this I wouldn't have been able to achieve without the kind of support from Rosemary, my wife, and also from the family. I've been assessed for a transplant, and I'm now on the transplant waiting list. And my son, Simon, he's been found to be the most suitable. He's got all the right markers. So the plan is that we'll go ahead with this, and hopefully early in the new year. So now with this interesting new NHS plan, which is all about having patients become more actively involved in both in their treatment and their health care, I've joined this programme, and one of the things I think is important is that I've got a good understanding of the CKD experience and the problems that come with this condition. I would like to help people manage and shape their lives just in the same way that I've been able to do that. When I started kind of thinking about, you know, what my future was, and then I started looking at what my options are, and I felt that if I don't take some control of my life, you know, I would have no control of my life. My future wouldn't kind of be what I would expect it to be. So I think that really that from that 1999, from that vasculitis, that was a defining period of my life. And what I started to do then is I started to become much more kind of active in making decisions, and I found that if I did that, in particular with kind of health professionals, they reacted accordingly.